Hey guys, thank you so much and welcome to the Game Your Future podcast. I'm Daniel, and here we're all about helping gamers realize their full potential. And today, have a very fun, very special guest for you guys. This is Jamie Wilson. Jamie is, wow, she's done it all, right? I love it, Jamie. So, service delivery lead in the tech industry, has worked with the DoD, Department of Defense, for those that don't know, very cool. And I'm self-described adventurer, which I think is good. Fantastic. And is on a mission to blend the world. Really, it's about coexistence, having gamers be successful and not being ashamed of that because it's all about being successful in life, wealth, and health. So, Jamie, thank you so much and welcome. How are you?
Very good, man. You said that so much better than me. Like you're the pro.
Not a problem. No, no, we're here to just have fun. And I love what you mentioned on that when we were talking beforehand, because so much of what you're doing, so much of what you've mentioned to me is exactly what this podcast is all about. It's really about sharing that kind of love of gaming, but understanding and breaking these kind of molds, these kind of stereotypes, right? These stigma that like
hmm
gaming is either a waste of time or pure escapism or just all
hmm
these kind of things that are just inherently untrue, and it's
hmm
really breaking this kind of stuff down. So I'd love to start kind of at the beginning, kind of where is it that you've seen gaming help in your life, and then we can kind of backtrack to kind of where you started on gaming.
Yeah. So where has it helped me on my life? Tons of areas. I mean, I started gaming when I was 3, and I think that the first thing that I probably really learned was to think differently, to approach problems, and look at them through a different scope. You know, there's a lot of different solutions in gaming to one problem, and it might take you hours just to figure out what one of those solutions are, and what one solution works for you might not work for somebody else. So, problem solving and thinking differently was probably really huge for me. And then also just like perseverance and like stick-to-itiveness. I think it's inherent that sometimes when things get too hard, people want to give up. But gaming kind of gives you that special moment where you know that you're going to achieve something after, and I kind of try to look at how that could apply to other areas of my life as well. So I think that that's definitely something that gaming has helped me approach, like thinking differently.
That's huge. Yeah, just thinking differently, I think is just what a lot of people don't understand is just how powerful that is, right? Because
hmm
it's interesting to say, and for the gamers listening, right? It's just, you think different, and some might consider that negative, right? It's like, oh, well, I'm not normal, right?
Who
But
is
what you're
these
saying
days?
is really helped, right? It's having
Yeah.
that problem, and for those that have listened to some of the other episodes, problem solving is definitely at the top of my list as far as like gaming skills, right? That can
Yeah.
transfer into real life, and what you mentioned as far as kind of the stick to itness, right? Kind of the
hmm
perseverance. I wanted to also kind of touch on. That's definitely one that we've talked about on other episodes, but it's something that I don't know that a lot of people get, right?
hmm
So I like the phrasing of stick to itness because I don't think I've heard it described in that way. Uh, so what is it about that? What is it about like kind of the what is are we talking kind of follow through or just kind of this perseverance? Like what is it about gaming that's really helped you in life for that?
Yeah, I think the way that that translates into real life is, especially in my career, like in my probably like mid to late 20s and early 30s, I really wanted to grow. And I feel like I tried very hard, maybe too hard, to grow and to be promoted in different areas of my job. And I probably literally failed every single time. The first time that I've received a promotion at any place I've ever worked is where I'm working now, and that was about 2 years ago. So, and I'm 42. So, it took a long time, and there was a lot of times where I wanted to give up in my career, and where I was trying a lot of different things, and I knew I had it in me, but I wasn't either. I wasn't in the right place at the right time. And that can happen with a game. Like you could try really, really hard at a game and it's just not working out. Maybe that's just not your game. Like I suck at Dark Souls. I really suck at Dark Souls. Do I appreciate Dark Souls? Yes. Have I ever beaten one? Absolutely not. No, I haven't. I have not. I have not. And I probably never will. Which is fine.
But
But I think it's kind of taught me that, if you just kind of keep chipping away at something and you just stay the course, even when you're not gaining levels, figuratively, you're not succeeding, eventually you'll kind of earn enough experience points. You'll farm over time and you'll get there. You'll get where you're wanting to go. It just sometimes it does take longer.
Right. And I think that's a huge part of it. Just do it a little bit at a time. And
Hmm.
there's so much power in that. I think a lot of people have issue with kind of the motivation behind it, though, like
Yes.
just trying to continually going. And I think what's interesting about gaming kind of does a little bit more hand holding in that regard, where you
Hmm.
have something more, yeah, I'd like to say tangible, but it's not really tangible. It's but something that you can actually see, something
Yeah.
that's truly like engaging to be like, oh, these are my levels, this is my experience points, these are my
Hmm.
skills.
Yep.
So even though I'm not able to beat the boss yet, I am accruing experience for each little thing that I, kill or whatever.
Yeah.
But when we get into life, there is no experience bar.
Yes.
There is no levels.
You don't see any of that.
You don't
It
see
kind
any of
of
that.
exists. It kind of exists, but you
Kind
gotta
of
you gotta
exists.
really look. You gotta really
Right.
look.
So that's kind of the question, like how do you find that? Like how do you
Hmm.
find kind of the motivation through these kind of levels or experience? How do you see the progress when there apparently is none? How's that helped you or have you seen that in your life?
Yeah, I actually had to set like actual goals and I had to visualize things. Um and I don't want it to sound like too tacky, but like law of attraction, like overall the concept, I don't love all of it, but like what you put out into the universe, like you can get back, and what you visualize yourself becoming, you can become. And so that is probably something that I did a lot. I tried to visualize like the end goal, and then I try like once you know what the end goal is, you have to be able to see the steps to get there. And some of those steps really suck. And some of them you're really going to have to grind. And like this year, I got to get my PMP and I'm going to have to grind for that. Like I haven't started on that yet. And I know it's going to, I know there's going to be elements of that suck, but I can see where that gets me in my career. And, I've looked at my career growth path that my company has set out for me. And getting this amount of certifications elevates me to this level, which then can set me on the track to, getting promoted to a service delivery lead level two. So, I try to think about things at the end of it and what that looks like and how that can change my life. So I do. I like to visualize it. I like to see what it's going to look like.
That's huge. Yeah, visualizing I think is absolutely key. So being able to see it clearly, because I think there's a lot of I think what people call fuzzy targets, right? Where it's just
Yes.
like, so like I think it's here. I think this is what I'm going for. It's like, well, if you're not clear, then if you hit a bullseye on the fuzzy thing, it's like, well, no, the target was actually over here. It's like, or like you're in like the margin of that. It's like, no, it's
Yeah.
so if you're very clear, if you visualize exactly what it is that you want, exactly where you want to go,
Hmm.
it's much easier to hit, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
I think they give another analogy that I love in that kind of space is like an airplane. Like you take off and then you're going, so like we're gonna fly from the US, we're gonna fly from like New York to Tokyo.
Right.
And you're like, well, if you're planning to land in Japan, it's like, okay, well, you're kind of there, but like, don't want to, you have to hit a runway. Like that's
Right.
important.
Exactly.
Like,
It's kind of critical.
yeah. So let's pick a town. Like, okay, Tokyo. I was like, all right, and which
Hmm.
airport are you landing? Like that, you have to
Hmm.
know where you're going so you
Right.
can actually land
Exactly.
safely, right? So,
Yes. Good
so if
point.
you're not doing that, it's something to do. I think there's just a huge amount of power in that. Just that kind of it helps with focus too, right? To be like, okay, I have the clear directive. And
Yes.
again, I think this is again where gaming does such a great job
Hmm.
of giving us those targets,
Hmm.
and then getting out into life again. It's like, all right, you have to set your own targets.
Right. Right.
So same,
Absolutely.
yeah. So same with the experience, and I think game and what you mentioned as far as breaking it down,
Hmm.
huge
Hmm.
because taking from the game analogy, game doesn't say like, all right, you're level one, go kill the boss dragon.
Hmm.
You're like,
Yep. Yep.
no, but that's the goal, right? Like
Yes,
that's the
that's
beat
yep.
the game is
Yep.
beat the dragon and you beat the game or
Hmm.
whatever. It's like, okay, but there's a lot of little steps along the way, right?
Yes.
And usually with especially with the more modern games, there's tons of quests, tons of like little, yeah, and they break it down like the little quest tracker every step of the way. Like this is what you need to do.
Yes.
So I think what you're saying too is like making sure that you're bringing that into the rest of your life to say like, look, you can break down the bigger things and the smaller things,
Yeah.
but you can see where to go.
It's actually, I don't remember where I saw this online, but I saw somewhere somebody took a piece of just standard notebook paper, folded it in half, and on the left side they wrote like main quest, and on the left or on the right side side quests. And it was like, so when I have a day that gets overwhelming, I'll do that. And I'll write like what's my main quest of the day? Like what are things I have to do? And then like what are side quests that, I can do. And I think it's another gamification thing, but I it works for me. It makes sense in my brain, like, and it usually helps me stay on target. So days of, I should probably do it every day. But especially on the days where I have a lot going on, I will do that. And it has definitely helped.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a fun. I've used something similar, but I'm glad you brought that up as far as just understanding what is a main quest versus what is the side quest, right? Because I think
Hmm.
most gamers are familiar with that kind of terminology, right? And to see like
Hmm.
this is where the story's going, and then this is where all your maybe some of your cool perks or extra XP, whatever it is, but
Yes.
it doesn't drive the narrative forward. And I think to kind of help the gamer audience understand, I think there's a lot of in gaming, I think it's a lot more of like, well, I want to do all the side quests because that
Hmm.
gets me better. That gets me more
Right.
powerful. And
Yes.
so, what would you say to the person that's like, okay, well, I'm going to do all the side quests, all of them before I start the main quest? Because that's what I do in gaming. That works in life too, right?
Hmm. What I would say to them is you can kind of do them both simultaneously. Work on some of your main quests and then pick like, if you've got five side quests, like let's let's carve out some time for one or two of those today, you know. Um but it's totally okay to do a little bit of everything. I feel like in gaming, a lot of us, especially as hardcore gamers, a lot of us are very neurodivergent. Um, Me especially. And, I definitely get stuck in things. And so sometimes my biggest problem is switching tasks. So I know that it's real easy to get lost in a side quest when you definitely should be doing your main quest. That's why for me, I usually make my main quest like something that's a priority. Like,
Mm.
do I have to email my boss this report today? Yeah, I do. So that is a main quest today, and that is at the top of the list, you know? So I try to tick off, some elements of the main quest or some of the main quests before I start chipping away at some of the side quests.
Gotcha. And I think what's important too is that you're saying because you're also kind of breaking it down throughout the day because main quest
Yes.
is not kill the dragon immediately. It's
Yes.
like you said
Yeah.
today it could be just like well the main quest today is just
Mm-hmm.
simply you sending them report. I got to do this one thing. This is super important. This has to get
Yep.
done today, right?
Yep, yeah, yeah. So that would be like my main quest is kind of like things that I need to do specifically in my job that are a priority. Maybe those would be daily quests. Maybe they should be my dailies.
There you
Now I'm
go.
gonna rethink this. I'm gonna get off the call with you. I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh,
Gonna
I gotta
completely
I
redo
gotta
it
go,
all.
I
Yeah.
gotta do this over, you know?
That's why we're
So
here.
yeah,
We're here to help.
I just needed to talk to you and get this all sorted
Yes.
out. But yeah, yeah,
Perfect.
maybe I should think a little differently about that.
That's absolutely because
Hmm.
to me, because I think what you're saying too, and what I've noticed and what I think is like wildly successful is having that is exactly what you're saying. It's like you
Hmm.
want to do both. You want to have main
Hmm.
and side quest, right?
Hmm.
Because in gaming, and I'll say in games, typically I'm the person that's like I want to do all the side quests,
Hmm.
everything I can before I can move on to the main quest. Because
Hmm.
usually you're gated that way, where it's like, all right, well, there's
Right.
a bunch of side quests, but then once you get to the new town or the new area, then there's a bunch more side quests. And you're like, well, I don't want to be just overwhelmed with a bunch of side quests toward the end of the game. I want to do them as they unlock.
Right.
Right. Which makes sense.
Hmm.
But by the same token, you still need to move forward, right? So
Right.
I think when we get into life where it's, life being like the ultimate open world game where
Hmm.
literally go anywhere, do anything.
Yep.
So there's an infinite amount of side quests. So you
There is.
so now you have to take it in that kind of respect, where it's like, all right, if you have an infinite amount of side quests, when are you going to actually do the main quest?
Good point.
So I think
That's a
really
great
having that
question.
focus again, and understanding that the main quest, again, very different from a game, is that once you complete the main quest, there's no end to that either. Like main quests keep going too. There is
Yes.
no end of the main quest. Like, you
Yeah.
don't beat your job and you're like, I'm done
Yeah.
now. It's
Yes, exactly. Yeah, yeah. You just get to the end of the patch.
you just get to the end of
Wait
that
until
patch,
the
right?
next, the
And then
next
maybe eventually
expansion.
years down the road, you get to the retirement, story arc, and you're like, all right, now I get to go do that now.
Exactly.
But the main quest still doesn't end. It's like, what do you want to do with your time now? What do you want to do?
Yeah.
It's like, so that doesn't end either.
Right.
But the point is, where do you want to go? Where do you want to
Mm-hmm.
be? And like you said, I think goal setting is so important for that because I think there's so many
Mm-hmm.
people that are trapped in that kind of loop of like, well, I'll just do
Yes.
side quests because I feel like I'm getting something immediately. It feels good, the instant gratification.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes to the expense of, I don't know where I'm going, or like I'm just here, I'm showing up, I'm getting my paycheck and whatever. It's just like, well, I just got to eat, I just got to live. It's like, okay, and what do you want to do?
Right. Right. And I think as gamers, it's easy to fall into the trap of, well, all my bills are paid right now, or maybe they mostly are. And, I have a job, like I'm an adult. What more do you want from me? And their main quests and their side quests are all video games. They aren't maybe striving for anything better for themselves. And, I hope that people can, know that they're worthy and that they deserve more.
Exactly right. And so that's why if you could share even just a little bit more as far as like kind of the work that you do, because like
Hmm.
understanding these kind of success stories of like, hey, there are gamers out there like yourself, myself, that have done cool things and great things and have
Yeah.
whether it's steady job or building a business, all these kind of things that are just like, yeah, you can do that too. It doesn't have to
Hmm.
always be side quest gaming, right?
Right, right. And I mean, I think you'll understand this one, but you can have your main job, your main quest job, and you can have side jobs, side quest jobs. Like, yeah, sometimes your main job isn't the coolest thing in the world, but turn one of your hobbies, turn gaming into, something, turn that into a job, turn that into an income stream. I've always had side jobs. I was a Twitch streamer back in the day. I've always played video games and I've always kind of wanted to work in that industry or at least be, you know, um, working with those types of people because I love gamers. I'm a gamer myself and we
Yep.
all understand each other a little bit. So, it doesn't have to end at just your career. You can always be doing something on the side and building something for yourself as well.
Exactly right. And you mentioned too, just because gamers, we have that kind of connection, right? Just for the simple fact that we enjoy games. Because like
Hmm.
I think it is like a certain type of person that just like enjoys gaming more than another person. So
Hmm.
I know it's like especially types of games too. So it's like, you and I are gamers, so we can connect super fast. And then it's like,
Yeah.
all right, well, what kind of games? Because then you connect even faster because you're like,
Yes.
oh yeah, I'm a big RPG player and adventure player. So like, for those watching the video, I'm wearing a Legend of Zelda t-shirt.
I approve.
There you go. That's so you immediately know like, he likes that.
Hmm.
And or Final Fantasy,
Hmm.
one of the best franchises in my opinion
Hands
ever.
down. My
Yeah.
favorite.
Yeah. Now and then you can go immediately into just like, which ones have you played and what did you like? What did you not like? And just
Hmm.
having that instant connection, I think is so powerful too. So not only is it just, all these kind of skills that you're building playing games, but it's also this kind of, the real world connection to other people
Right.
through the games you play.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
and I think even especially the multiplayer ones, especially like something like Final Fantasy 14, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I think you play as well, right? That's
I absolutely play that as well. And I think that's another big thing that like I really want people to know too is that it's okay to be somewhat mediocre at everything that you do. I mean, I played, I think like 1,400 hours of Final Fantasy 14 last year, I think is what my PlayStation wrap up said. Um, and yeah, I've cleared all the content, but like I'm not yet doing Savage content. Like I'm not doing Savages today, and it's not the DDoS's fault. It's me. It's me. I play a crap load. Like I have gone through all of like Bozja and Zadnor. Like I consider myself a hardcore gamer. I am a mentor in Final Fantasy, but like I'm not an amazing player. Just like I really enjoy running. Like I run ultra marathons, so people probably think I'm good. I'm not. I'm not good. I finished like I call myself the leader of the struggle bus. I always finish first place in the last third of the race. I'm like
Nice.
the lead runner of the back third of the pack. I'm not great at really anything, but I'm good enough in everything. And I'm like super satisfied with that. Like, yeah, I'm trying to be better at my job. I had a great year at my job last year, and that's awesome. And I think a lot of it is because I try to balance all these different things at the same time. Like, yeah, I play Final Fantasy and then I go run for 2 hours. And, then I come home and I will literally sit on my butt and play Final Fantasy for 9 hours on a Saturday, like I don't
Hell
care,
yeah.
like, no judgment. And then, but I'm totally happy, like being somewhat like of a high-end mediocre player at everything in my life. I'm good enough at everything and I'm happy about that.
That's awesome. And that is so key to me because it's like because you don't have to be perfect, right?
Right.
That's the
Yeah.
point. Is that you
Right.
don't have to be perfect at the game, you don't have to be
Hmm.
perfect at life, right?
Right. Right. Exactly.
As long as you're happy, you're enjoying yourself and you're just yeah, you're doing it. Like
Hmm.
that's
Yeah.
success. That is
Yeah.
success.
Yeah.
So that's what I love about that. And
Yeah.
I love the silver lining of it. Like I'm the first in the back third of the
Hmm.
race. It's like,
Yes. Every
hey,
race.
like, you know what?
Every race, I guarantee you. And I'm totally cool with that, because, any one of those people that I'm running with, I can probably destroy one third of their kids in Fortnite. So it's cool.
That's so fun that we're like similar in that regard because I play a wide variety of games. I don't
Yeah.
claim
Okay.
to be
Cool.
the
Me too.
best at any one game,
Hmm.
but I like to consider myself decent in a
Yes. Yeah.
whole bunch
Same.
of different games, right?
Yes.
So
Same. Yep.
yeah, so it's like whether it is the RPGs, whether it is like I've done a bunch of like first person shooters, right? I've played
Hmm.
Overwatch in the day, right, when it came
Yep.
out, and never been a Call of Duty person, but
I've played it, but I'm not a huge Call of Duty
yeah.
person either.
So, but oh my gosh, yeah, I can just I'll say it's easier to say what games I don't play. Like that's how many games I play, right?
I'm probably close to the same. Actually, now that I've gotten older, I've definitely like tailored down. Like I'm definitely like a Final Fantasy, Fortnite, Minecraft, Zelda, um, yeah, Diablo.
Uh-huh.
I still play World of Warcraft here and there, Elder Scrolls. Um,
That's
those are
the
probably
hardest
my
thing for me
tops.
is like I could never do two MMOs at the same time.
Yeah, no, that's like impossible. But
That's hard.
unfortunately, World of Warcraft really isn't grabbing me the way it used to. So
Yeah,
that was an easy one to cancel the subscription on
yeah,
again, unfortunately.
yeah.
I do
That's
miss peak WoW. I do.
peak WoW. So when was peak WoW for you?
So I mean I played WoW since day one,
Mhm.
so probably day two. But I
I played
love
since
Burning
vanilla too, and
Crusade.
I'm there with you. I think
Yeah.
end of vanilla into Burning Crusade. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was probably like my peak. Like I don't know. I loved it. And
Yep.
it's never going to be that again, and
It's
that's
never gonna be
that's
that
okay.
again
That's okay.
until they made the classic servers, which was kind of like interesting, but I still didn't go back for it. I was like,
Yeah, I didn't either. I thought
yeah,
about it and I just never pulled the trigger on it. So, but yeah, and
yeah.
then, Final Fantasy, I played 11, not a lot, like only a little bit. Like I think I probably made it to
It's
like
so
level.
funny how similar we are on that. I played 11 for a summer.
Okay,
That's
that's
it.
probably about me too.
Yeah,
But
I
as
played it.
soon
I,
as the beta came out for Final Fantasy 14 2.0 on PS3, like I was in. If 1.0 would have been on the PlayStation, I would have been in that too. I would have seen the cataclysm firsthand.
I yes, and I didn't hang around for the Cataclysm, but I did play 1.0.
No kidding.
Yeah, and for those watching, I don't know if you can see it back here. That is the collector box
Oh my
for
God.
Final Fantasy
That's
14
that's
1.0.
actually amazing. That's really cool.
So I was like, I was there and I saw all the terrible that there was and all the and how the Gridania, the forest outside of Gridania was just copy paste everything. And I was just you
Yes.
get so lost. You're like you have to bring up the map to be like, what,
I
where?
watched so many YouTube videos. It really sets the standard for how God mode Yoshi P is. Like that man
Yeah.
is ridiculous.
Yes.
Like he is God tier. Wow.
Yeah. So the way he turned 14 around, so
Insane.
amazing. That's it.
Insane.
Yeah. Have you
Yeah.
seen the video Final Fantasy 14 in a nutshell? I think is
I
what it's
don't
called.
know.
I'll have to send you the link after this, and maybe I'll
Yeah,
include it in the
definitely.
description for people. But it's just it was one of those hilarious little parody things on how what what Square Enix thought when they did 14 and how they bring Yoshi P in. It's done very comedic. It's very fun. So
Okay, I'll definitely have to watch
I'll just
it.
check that out. Uh, but oh my gosh, it's fantastic. So this is what I'm talking about for especially for the audience. That's just like there's so much power in gaming and there's so much connection in gaming, and
Hmm.
this is what I love about it so much. But so I want to make sure that we cover as much as we can. So as far as I want to go back to the real life adventurer side of what you mentioned at
Yes.
the beginning. So tell us a little bit about what it is to you to be a real life adventurer and what all that means and how that's helped you, I guess, be successful.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in the woods in Pennsylvania. My parents always threw us out of the house. They wanted us, if it was sunny outside, we were outside. Didn't matter the temperature or whatever. So I actually was always adventuring around in my woods, and like my siblings and I were like super into like role play, play imagination, whatever you want to call it. I'm a millennial, but and then as I got older, well, not even as I got older, like as a kid, I grew and I still love rainy days because we were allowed to stay inside and play video games. And so my siblings and I, there's four of us, um, we were super huge into Zelda. We had a Nintendo. We didn't get a PlayStation until I was like 17, I think. I got a job at Sears so I could get the discount and get a PS2.
Nice.
So I started with PS2. The first games I bought was Ico and Final Fantasy X. Um,
Nice.
Fantastic games.
Yeah.
But I've always seen myself, I guess, as well, it's coming now more to fruition, but I guess I always like longed for and craved adventures. Like I crave adventures in video games. And then, so I've always been a runner. I've been really interested in running. I ran spring track, winter track, and cross country all through high school and have always been a runner. But like as I started getting older, I was living in Florida just a few years ago, and I just was like, I hate road racing. Like I was always running 5Ks, half marathons on the roads, and I was like, it was just starting to just like be mind numbing. And
Mm,
so like I started reading a lot about like trail racing. And so I moved up, I now live in Huntsville, Alabama, and just surrounded by trails. So I started trail running and it just like it hit me. I was like, this is it. Like it was like combined like the part of me that was a kid like playing in the woods and the part of me that is like, running through, any Elder Scrolls game, just being like, well, what's beyond the crest of this hill? And like, oh my gosh, what do the trees look like up ahead? Like, what does this look like in fall? What does this look like when it snows, And it just turned into like this, like I was just craving this adventure. And so like on the road, I'm just like miserable after like mile 4. And then like in the woods, like I'm running like like I'm running 36 miles and I'm just like looking, I feel like, and I'll even create like side quests or like in my head, I'll be like, I really pissed my chocobo off and he ran away. And so I can't ride my chocobo anymore. So now I am on this quest to go find my chocobo because when he was pissed at me, he got captured and he's with this caravan. And now I have to like make it to the top of this mountain to get the clue to where he is. Like I make up like little scenarios in my head. So I kind of have become like this like real life like adventurer, but like I'm still like fulfilling a part of me that like craves the adventure and like wants to have this make believe or this like role play life. But I'm also, like doing something good. Like I'm increasing my heart health and I have a Garmin watch and it with actually, I don't think you can see it, but it's got the Fallout
I
on
can see
there.
that. Yes.
Yes. But it's like my little pit boy here and,
Yep.
it gives me my stats every day. It tells me like how my heart health is and I'm become like my own little, like I'm growing my own little Pokemon.
You're your own Pokemon. I love
Yeah,
it.
I'm like evolving.
There you go.
And I've got stats every day and I'm trying to get like my VO2 max up and I'm trying to get my resting heart rate lower and it's like I'm like in a real adventurer whose stats are evolving and it's cool to like think about it in that way and it's just something that I kind of like recently discovered and it's kind of my mission like this year like especially as I evolve like my Facebook and my YouTube and stuff like I kind of want other gamers to be able to find that same adventure, outdoors as well. We can find that in the digital world, but it does exist outside too. And I want to be able to help other people find their own like inner adventurer, go out and play in the woods or whatever.
That's awesome.
However
Yeah.
that looks.
Yeah, helping others find their own inner adventurer, I think is key.
Hmm.
That is fantastic.
Hmm.
And I know we could spend, even more time just on that aspect of it, especially what you mentioned as far as like all the like on the pit bull, on the tracking, all the metrics,
Yes.
all the data. Metrics is huge
Yes.
that I
I'm
think a lot of
obsessed.
people don't understand or because metrics usually is like a business buzzword or something, or it's just like, oh,
Yeah.
I gotta track the metrics. And you're like,
Hmm.
I don't care. And you're like,
Hmm.
well,
Yeah.
maybe not for the business, but you should. But for
Yeah.
yourself, definitely. Like,
Yeah, like you are as a human, you have your own data points. Like you
yeah,
have cholesterol levels, you have a heartbeat, you have all these things
yeah.
that are
There's all these things
trackable.
you can measure that,
Yeah.
and that was, when I did like an MBA program. That was like the mantra that they drilled into us
Oh
is
yeah.
around metrics. They said it's very simple as far as the mantra I could tell you is, what gets measured gets rewarded, and what gets rewarded
Ooh, I
gets
like
done.
that. I like that. Oh, that's so good.
It is. I'll share that with everybody. That is just, it's so powerful. It's like if you measure it, you can reward it. And if it gets rewarded, it gets done.
I
And
like
you're
that. I
like,
kind of want to convert that to like some like katakana and get like a tattoo of that. Like that would be really
there you
cool.
go.
That'd be cool.
There's got to be, yeah, you've got to be able to do kana or kanji or something. There's definitely
Yeah.
some kind of an idiom or saying in there, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Absolutely. But so if the audience is engaged with that, if they're interested, guys, let me know in the comments, especially if you want to hear more about that, about the aspect of being your own real life adventurer and being able to track all these kind of metrics to really kind of see all your stats, right? See how you're doing. Yeah, let me
Hmm.
know if that's something of interest to you, because that's we could have Jamie back and have another episode just on that, I'm sure. So
I'm sure you and I could find a lot of things to
I'm sure
talk
we can
about.
find a lot to talk about, but at least for this particular episode, JB, as we wind this one down,
Mhm.
I think people would be excited to connect with you. Where can people find you?
So right now you can find me on my Facebook. Just it would be the at symbol. So or how do they do this now? Facebook.com user Frag Jamesy, FragJamesey. Frag Jamesy, you'll find everything. I think you'll find my Twitch, which I'm not active on Twitch anymore. I've thought about doing it again. My YouTube. That'll if you look for Frag Jamesy, you'll find me. You'll
Perfect.
find me everywhere.
Fantastic. And we'll have the link for you guys in the description as well, so you can find Jamie really easily. But gosh, this has been so much fun, Jamie. So thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for being on the podcast. And before we go, I do have one final question for you.
Okay.
And that, of course, is what is your favorite video game? I always save the hardest one for last.
Man, this is such a hard one. I mean, right now today, oh gosh, man, I could talk
I know
about
it's
this for
hard for
hours too.
you, especially because it is for me if you play a wide variety of
It
games.
is so hard. And you know what? There's a situation too, like for each of them. Like if I'm feeling this way, I want this game. I mean, overall, my favorite game probably is definitely Final Fantasy 14. Next is probably somewhere in like the Ocarina of Time, Zelda
Mhm.
Ocarina of Time.
Yep.
Even Metal Gear Solid 3. Ico,
Nice.
Shadow of the Colossus. I have a lot. It's really,
Yep.
really hard to pick one. It's so hard. Even World of Warcraft, like it's so hard to pick one.
Yep.
But I would probably go with Final Fantasy 14. I think at this point it's probably the game, either that or World of Warcraft I've invested the most hours into. But
Yep.
I love MMOs. I love that kind of adventure, and I love being surrounded with other nerds just like me.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, I love this in 14 too. It's just so much fun. Oh my gosh.
Oh, great.
If I had to give, it's so hard, but if I had to give one, it'd be Chrono Trigger.
Oh, that's so, and the music is so
It's
good.
such
Oh,
a good one.
oh,
If there's one game that I would go back to any day of the week, just like, all right, start playing any game at all, what would you start right now? And I think the answer is always Chrono Trigger.
you know what? That's probably a good choice for me too,
Yeah.
honestly. I mean, you can't
I
really go
figured
wrong with
you
that. You
might like
can't
that
go
one too.
wrong. Oh, it's so good.
Oh,
Oh,
so
so
much
great.
fun. But oh gosh, thank you so much, Jamie. This has been so much fun. Thank you for being here.
Man,
And
thank you.
any final words for the listeners?
No, man, I love your mission and I think helping people and I just want you to keep telling people like, yeah, you're worthy. Like there is a better you. Like let's level up in life. I think it's awesome and
Yes.
heck yeah, I like the work that you're doing and I hope you keep doing it and I hope that you inspire a million people or more.
Exactly. Oh, hope so too. Well, would love that. So, guys, thank you so much, and please let me know. Give some love to Jamie in the comments, and let me know if you want to have her on again because I think we could definitely talk for hours. Fantastic. All right. Well, thank you so much, Jamie, and everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening, and remember, stay awesome. And I'll see you in the next one.